Sup, nobody? It's only me here. I have had to delete the other link to the live because that one was just hanging up something awful. I'm wondering if it might be my browser because I went to a different browser and it seems to be working, but nobody has made it over. All right, well, while I'm sitting here waiting for people to show up, I'm going to post to try to let you know what's happening. Hey, okay, who made it over? Jessica, you made it over. Roxanne, you made it. Okay. Hi. Thank you for being here. Oh my God. All right, I just have to sit down and I have been this entire day has been pointed at getting on live tonight. I feel so much better. I have been feeling like normal. So I thank the acupuncture and everything else that I've been doing, but suddenly it's like clouds dissipated and I've been feeling better and better. So very, very grateful for that. Hi, Kylie. Kyle. Hi, Kyle is. Okay, Kyle. I want to say Kylie. I like Kylie. I'm so glad you guys made it over. Oh my God. I mean, I was ready to sit down and it's like, I'm not going to talk about negative stuff tonight. And then my one camera started going nuts. My camera that's, this is a new camera. That's a not very old camera, but I guess old enough that it's starting to fuck up now. And then I got on and everything kept hanging up, which I'm going to blame Chrome for. And then when I started up again, I couldn't type. My keyboard disappeared. My mouse disappeared. So I had to replug lots of things. And, when you think you have your shit together, and I mean, I have spent all day cleaning, getting everything set up, trying everything out, making sure everything's set right. And then I suppose that I have to feed my ancestors. I said that in my last unboxing. And that's what my sensei used to say when I was studying tea ceremony. When you started getting clumsy and things were fucking up, she'd say, you feed your ancestors. So I have to feed my ancestors. Hi, Roxanne. So yeah, I am feeling so much better. I mean, my shoulders are my shoulders. If you saw in that last video, I moved my, I can be sitting with my elbows propped and just touch my phone and this shoulder will snap. But Laura, yay! Yay! I'm so happy to see all of you guys. So let's talk about good stuff. Um, like I said, it's been beautiful here. We've had the windows open all day. My house smells like we hung it out to dry in the sunshine. It just has that wonderful fresh air smell. There's not enough blooming yet that my allergies are going berserk. So I've been so grateful and starting every morning with a Kelly Howell meditation or just the binaural beat for theta and gamma, which is trance state and flow state. I do an hour of that while I'm doing morning readings, and that as much as I think the acupuncture. And I started doing that like the day after I started acupuncture. So it's been a couple months since I've been doing this every morning, and it's definitely starting to have a lasting effect. And so I am in gratitude every day. I have so much gratitude. And now that I'm able to start cleaning, it has been so long, like since last summer, since I've been able to clean my home. And my husband and my son have kept up with everything, but now, like, I rearranged my shelves so that my decks are more accessible, the ones that I go for all the time, and it's wonderful. Hi, Scrat Finned Nut. I'm so glad to see you here. Ah, so yeah, I have tons of gratitude, and you know, that's where I'm going to stay. So I decided to make things easy on myself tonight. Ha ha, damn good thing I did because of those monkey wrenches. And rather than going and, going through the decks and picking everything, I just brought the decks that I have been working with a lot in the last 2 months, and then other favorites, just favorite easy decks to read with so we can have some fun. And I have my Bashtet cup. She's all about fun and play, so we can have fun. So I take it you can hear me okay, because that was the last thing I almost didn't get to do. I am ready to laugh and be amazed tonight. Yes, I am. Let's do let's do a thing. Here we go. Yes, Luna's back. Let's do a blessing, okay? And then we'll do a nice meditation. Hi, Al. Hi. I'm so happy to see you here. Wow. Hey, text Tam and tell him to jump on. He never does. This is why I get away with saying all kinds of stuff that I do, because I know that my kids don't watch my videos. But I am very happy to be like caught out and stuff because my kids are watching. So, and we have passed a huge, huge, what do I want to say? A milestone, I guess it is. My son's partner, who is non-binary, had top surgery last week, and it's been a long process of authorization and getting things all together, and it's done. And they also had some health markers that fast tracked them, so it's good to have things found out early and the remedy applied with no delay, and finally, after lots of hassle. So we're through that, and the healing has begun. My son is going to be heading towards his top surgery sometime soon. So there's a lot to be grateful for. There are big strides being made. There's a lot of change happening, and it's good change. So let's just start with a blessing here. And I offer you this sacred smoke. Light it up if you got some sage or cedar or juniper or whatever you have. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. May you be inspired. May your vision be clear. Oh, wait, you go here. You go here. And by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. I usually have myself up in the corner when I'm doing this, but I didn't do that. It'll be interesting to see how much I remember what I'm doing. Ah. And by the sound of the bell, fair warning. May any negativity that's around you and inside you be shattered and scattered. And may this tone and the sound of the bell call your spirit into presence in this moment. So let's have a nice little meditation. I'm going to put myself up in the corner and actually take myself out of the picture. Settle into whatever surface you're sitting on, lying on. Hello, Chaley. Chalet. I'm so happy to see you all here. Some of my motivation. Well, when you haven't been able to clean in a while, it's very motivating when you suddenly can do the things that you haven't been able to. So, all right, so settle in, whatever you're sitting on. Rest, relax, come down into your body and feel your skin. Just feel whatever comes to you first. The air on your skin, the temperature of the room, the texture of the fabrics that are touching you, the softness or hardness of the surface that's holding you up. Just feel it all and be in your body. Bring your breath down now. From up in your throat, bring it down, down, down. Feel it sinking down through the level of your lungs and solar plexus until it's right at the dantian, right at that sacral chakra level. And imagine you're breathing directly from that level. And as you take in nice deep breaths, let your entire rib cage relax so that it expands all the way around. Filling up your lungs from the bottom all the way to the top, letting air flow in and out easily and effortlessly. And now, as you are tuned into your breathing, pay attention especially to the exhale and imagine that as you exhale, anything inside you that does not contribute to your highest well being exits. You can take for granted that the in breath is coming in clean and pure and filling you up, but focus on that out breath. You might even see like something dark or smoky looking or gray or dense flowing out on the out breath. And as you continue to exhale, you feel your body begin to relax with every inhale that goes deeply down into your belly. And with every exhale, your body relaxes just that much more. Just feel all the muscles beginning to let go, release, and relax from the top of your head down the back of your head, into your neck, and down the front. All those hundreds of tiny muscles in your face, around your eyes and your eyebrows, all around your nose and mouth. So many muscles. And you feel them all relaxing. You feel the back of your jaw relax. So there's space between your back teeth. Your tongue relaxes into the bottom of your mouth. And the relaxation flows down your neck, front and back, and down into your shoulders, down into your upper arms, all the way down to your fingertips. And you feel this relaxation flowing down your chest, mid back, between your shoulder blades. Everything becomes relaxed and mobile. Down, 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 relaxation, all the way down to your toes. And as you settle in even more, pay attention to the base of your spine and feel that chakra open up and a cord or an energy root begin to grow down into the earth. Feel it go down, 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 connecting, connecting. If you need to send runners out to the cardinal directions to be more stable, please do that. And then you feel all along that root, all these tiny little rootlets come out the sides. And the first thing, whatever did not flow out on your breath that you don't need, anything that's more substantial and too heavy to go out on the breath, now just sinks down and exits through that root. Down, down, down into the earth. It goes out through all those little rootlets, and the earth absorbs it and transforms it into its elements, ready to contribute to new growth. And then all those fine little rootlets begin to soak up earth energy. And you see it green and gold, tiny, tiny little pairs of lights soaking into these little rootlets, and they begin to rise up. You can just watch them and feel as they touch your physical body and begin to flood in, flooding down your legs, flooding up into your belly, whoosh, up into your chest, up to your shoulders, down your arms to your fingertips, and up your neck into your head. All of these tiny little green and gold lights flashing and spinning. And they do the rest of the job, cleaning and clearing anything that does not support your highest well-being. Any waste materials, anything that's stuck, any barriers, tension, stress, fear, anger, fatigue, anything just detaches and falls down that root into the earth while the green and gold goes spinning, spinning, spinning. But as these green and gold little units are spinning, there's something missing. And in answer to that, you feel your crown open up. And down in comes blue and silver. From the cosmos, little pairs of blue and silver light, and they're attracted to the green and gold like magnets. And you feel them instantly rush around your body, joining into these beautiful little units of earth and sky that are spinning and flashing all over your body, energizing, awakening, increasing the space between your cells and atoms, increasing your cell respiration. You feel oxygen coming into your cells, and everything that you don't need is being released and exhaled and falling down that root. Feel how much lighter your body feels and how expansive you feel. And now begin to breathe in this energy, the green, gold, blue, silver. Breathe it in and out. And we're going to take a nice full exhale. On the next inhale, you're going to brighten all of those lights. Pull it in and make it brighter. And then release only the breath. And again, brighten it up. Releasing only the breath. And in again. Brighter and brighter. We're going to exhale through the crown and the root simultaneously. And you feel these go out from the top and the bottom, out all around you until they join at the sides, holding you in this beautiful, dancing, glowing, sparkling sphere. Maybe an egg shape, maybe an oval, maybe a sphere, but it completely encompasses you on all sides with this living, vital energy of earth and sky. Just watch this energy dancing around you and see how real this sphere is and how safe you feel within it. The energy that comes up from the earth is going down around the outside and back down into the earth. The energy from the cosmos is going up around the outside and back into the cosmos. There's no buildup, there's just a flow, a perfect, powerful flow. This is the energy of creation. And while we're here, let's specifically invite in the elements. Let's breathe in the element of air. Breathing in the molecules that have been breathed by every being that has ever been on this planet. putting us both in the present and the past, all times available at once. Feeling the air wake up our minds, clarify our thoughts, blow away any cobwebs, any negative thoughts, any stuck patterns of thinking. And we welcome the air, and then we welcome the fire in. We feel our passion rise. We feel our motivation. We feel our vision. And we allow that fire to burn away the lead in our butts. We let it burn away anything that's holding us back, anything that's blocking our highest vision, anything that's dampening our spirit, as we welcome fire. And then we welcome in water, and we feel that cleansing, healing flow pouring down over us and through us. We feel the blood in our veins flowing with that very water, and we feel our hearts open in connection, and allowing that water to bust loose any stuck emotion, letting things flow through us to cleanse and heal our emotional body as we welcome in the water. And we welcome in the earth, the solidity of body. And we send great unconditional love to the bodies that have carried us to this point. And then we invite in spirit, and we invite guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, our gods and goddesses. Please be present with us here as you are every minute of every day. Be present to our awareness now. We open our minds, our hearts to you. We open our throat chakra so that your voice may ride on our breath. We thank you for your presence, your healing energy, your inspiration. We accept blessings. We offer you fresh water. We offer you the fire of Azrael. And now, exhaling all the way. And on the next inhale, fill your lungs up. And as you exhale, take a layer of that sphere and push it out. And as it goes out, you feel it connect with all the others that are doing this meditation, whatever time they're doing it in sacred space. There is no time, there is no place. We're instantly connected, and whatever energies we have that are wonderful and positive can flow and be received. The sphere that you have around you, your personal layer, filters out anything that doesn't belong to you, that isn't for your highest well-being. Whether it's coming in or going out, it is filtered and pure so that we can share our energies, network our energies, web our energies, and be so much the stronger for it. So now coming back down into your body, into the room, into the space that is holding you up. Bring your awareness back. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Be nice and open and relaxed, present and aware, and let's have some fun. Okay, did I get you back? Am I okay? I see that. Now I get paranoid that I've gone away again. Let me see how much. I don't know how much the buffer is here. Somebody say hello. Oh, there we are. Okay. You're there. I guess you're just someplace else. I am so glad, so very glad that you're here. Okay, let's introduce the decks. First of all, we have Megan Watterson's Divine Feminine Oracle. I've been starting my practice in the morning with, thank you, Al. I've started my practice in the morning with the goddesses, and I let her, who is the goddess that is going to guide my day. So I think regardless of the tiny die, we are going to start with that. Marcy, yay! Welcome, dear. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad that you came here after all the hassles. We had quite a kerfuffle in the beginning there. So, my patrons, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for being there and thank you for your support and all that. Okay, the second of our decks is the Sacred She. What a deck. Then I'm sure some of you recognize Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. Yeah, baby. Then we have, whoops, let's get that little remote out of the way. Then we have the Sacred Hags. I cannot recommend this deck enough, you guys. It is just freaking amazing. And then, oh, let's do this. We have the Ostara Tarot. This is Molly Applejohn, Eden Cook, Krista Gibbard, and Julia Iredale. And I used to not like this deck because it's a compilation. It's kind of a compilation. It's a collaboration. It's 4 different artists. And I thought, oh, it was kind of disjointed, and I just didn't really connect with it in the beginning. Nah, I got it out this week, and it's been wonderful. Then one of my top 10s, and look what's coming out here, the gift note from Annette Klein, the Light Seers Tarot. Can't say enough good things about that. And see, if you have one, do it like this. Oh, yeah. All righty. Well, we start with the Astro Dice, of course. It's kind of like I never left. But it's been, you guys, it's been like a month and a half, I think, since I've done a live. Just crazy. All right, Astro Dice. Let's get some more Azrael on there. I doubt that you guys can hear any drums. I have them on my speaker and it's right next to the microphone, but I guess you can kind of hear them. I don't want them to be too loud. Okay. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome, dear. I'm so glad you're here. All right. My, they had a way to go, huh? North Node in Pisces. Well, we have a wad in Pisces right now. Mercury has now moved on into Aries, but we have Venus, Saturn, Sun, and Neptune in Pisces right now. So heavy Neptunian Pisces influence. I'm here. Anyhow, so we do have this heavy Pisces influence, and it makes us soft, it makes us vulnerable, but it also makes us very open and sensitive. It makes our boundaries a little fuzzy, which lets inspiration in and spirituality in. That's a good thing. Spiritual connection. Better late than never to be back. Well, I'm glad you had a good time while you were there, Scrat. Okay. And a reminder with that there is a buffer between when I see the message come up and you see my response to it. There's like a 20-second buffer or something. Anyhow, North Node in Pisces, the way forward is through compassion and connection. And third house is communication. We need to think with these heads and we need to feel with our hearts, and it is the karmic way forward. Caring for each other, and third house is connection with people. It's your siblings, but it's also your neighborhood and like your elementary school, your elementary learning, how you go about learning, that kind of stuff. But it's your neighborhood and your neighbors. So the way forward is through love and compassion close up with our neighbors and the people that we connect with every day. It's one thing, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with sending contributions and donations and stuff to charities and causes, politicians that you want to support that can make the world a better place. Not a thing wrong with that. But the expression of love and compassion needs to be a real, present, tangible thing. Practicing feeling and expressing compassion to people that are different, people that don't agree with us. And I think this is like the next stage of our evolution in these particular times we've been going through. My goodness, it really isn't that smoky through the whole thing. It's just the light. And where this is sitting, it's going straight to the camera. I love it. Anyway, so this is what we're being called to do, is learn how to express compassion in real time, face to face, to the people in our neighborhoods, to the people that we do come into contact with every day. So, of course, we're talking about the cashier. Somebody, especially if like you go and the cashier's like, and kind of being grumpy and not connecting and stuff, maybe that's the person that you need to express compassion to. And then, the next level up is maybe the people that we do know a little bit that aren't really strangers, but they're annoying, or they don't share our views, or they're downright obnoxious. Being able to express compassion for those people, or at least to temper the feelings of hatred, to deal with the hatred that comes up inside of us, deal with it here, rather than putting it out there to harm. Okay? That's the way forward for us. That's a tall fucking order, you guys. We're talking about what do I want to say? Spiritual, I don't know. Words are hard. Let's see how this goes. Oh, okay, goddess first, sorry. And the thing I did not get to do is give everybody a good shuffle because my timing got all fucked up. So we're going to shuffle goddesses just once. And then we're going to ask them. I'm sad that my Samantha isn't here. I know she's been waiting and waiting and waiting. And I truly wish that I could just schedule things way in advance. But I never know. I never know what's going to happen, from my body suddenly tossing up a migraine, which it's been doing lately, and to technical difficulties. You just never know. So, all right. Let me put, okay. Khadija and Fatima right under her. Oh, isn't that fascinating? And Akilanda, oh my God. So the one on the top was Khadija, who was the wife of Muhammad. But before she married him, she was a merchant. She was middle-aged and wealthy and well-to-do, and she proposed to him. So on the card it says, Mother of believers, I am spiritually and financially abundant. I provide heaven and earth for myself. So here is an unapologetic, powerful woman. And let's read. I just had her a couple mornings ago. Okay. She is the power we all possess to be aware of the spiritual realm and fully immersed in the material world. Aware of the spiritual realm, fully immersed in the material world. This meditation that we do, balanced between earth and sky, that's a practice of it. Khadija bint Khuwaylid was a widow in Saudi Arabia in the 6th century. She became a wealthy merchant who was deeply respected and known as Al-Tahira, the Pure One, or Al-Kubra, the Great. It is said that with her wealth she fed the poor, provided for her children from her first 2 marriages, and took care of her extended family. Khadija had a dream shortly after hiring a young merchant named Muhammad to work for her. In the dream, the sun descended into her courtyard, fully illuminating her home. Her cousin told her that this meant that the prophet would soon grace her doorstep. She realized that her new employee, Muhammad, was the prophet, so she asked him to marry her. They were married for 25 years. She's regarded as one of the most important female figures in Islam, followed by her daughter with the prophet, Fatima, who is right behind her. It said when Muhammad told Khadijah about his first revelation from the angel Gabriel in the cave of Hira, she was the first person to convert to Islam. Okay, let's see. The soul voice meditation is, do I feel worthy of abundance? There's an ancient narrative and a destructive misunderstanding that if we're going to be spiritual, then we have to renounce the material world. The body, however, is the soul's chance to be here. The body is the material world. Your life here is the material world. So, a healthy relationship to the material world is crucial and integral to reaching our spiritual potential. Khadijah represents the power and importance of knowing we can provide for ourselves. This power gives us roots and confidence and allows us to create relationships from a place of interdependence rather than codependence. Codependence says I'm not a whole person and I need you to fill in my blanks. Interdependence says I am whole and you are whole, and we each have different skills, and we support each other, not complete each other. We can cultivate the capacity we have to create more and more freedom for ourselves, and we can make choices for our life based on truth, not just on survival. There's also a false idea about when true love will find us and how. Khadijah liberates us from fairy tales that we need to be saved or supported or provided for by our life partner. Khadijah provided for the prophet, and her older age and significant status in the community made her more attractive, not less. She was a middle-aged businesswoman and single mom. She was ripe with resources and ripened with opportunities to love. Living into our true power and purpose does not make us less eligible. Khadijah reminds us that there is no linear timetable that eliminates us from having the sun descend in our courtyard. She lets us remember that we're worthy of the abundance measured in gold and the abundance measured in the depth of our love. And the intention is, I am spiritually and financially abundant. I provide heaven and earth for myself. So, she's going to come right here where she sat a few days ago. And then let's see what's up next. Maybe I'll put her over here where we can actually see her. There we go. Okay, who's up next? Let's see. Anybody else checking in? All right. They so far are going in the same order, because when I asked, it was this deck first and they took the number 1 spot, and then I asked this and it took the number 6 spot. All right. Like I said, I have not given them the shuffle yet, but that won't take long. Oh, come here. I guess we'll just do it that way. It's so funny because I've also been using my deck of character, which is 102 cards and shuffles like a dream. Better than this. I love watching the rainbow change. Look at that. It's kind of, the colors are sort of sorting themselves out. I wonder how many times I would have to shuffle this deck for it to arrange itself into a rainbow. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, now, what do we need to know? Here's our intention. What do we need to know tonight? What does the collective need to know? While I'm shuffling, let's just talk a little bit. Man, is there shit going on in the last couple months. And I will tell you, the impression that I am getting is that the worm has turned. Not even is turning, has turned. The State of the Union address was kick-ass. There are, every day it seems like there's good news from the courts, from lawsuits that have been filed in various states. in support of democracy. We're making we're taking steps. You know, there's still some seriously shitty stuff happening. Seriously, and I mean, I'm talking about not in the U.S. The the horrors that are going on in Gaza, that continue to go on in Gaza. But I feel like the worm is turning there too. So let's just see. What do we need in order to be these bridges between earth and sky, the bridges between this material world with all of its suffering and grasping, and the spiritual world with the, unconditional love and potential? How do we? All right, that's my cue. Four of Cups. Look at this. We've got just this dissatisfaction. We are dealing with such disgruntlement all the time. You know, as humans, even when we're happy, there's always something we're fussing about. You know, my body isn't exactly the way I want it. I don't have a six pack. I'm overweight. I don't, there's always just some little grinding dissatisfaction. And that's what the Four of Cups is telling us about. And you look at how she's looking. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful scene outside, blue sky, green grass, beautiful tree. But on this side that she's looking away from, there's this glorious rainbow. So it's a matter of focus. Our state of mind and how we perceive the world and our levels of dissatisfaction really do depend on our focus. And as I am focused every morning, I sit here having my coffee, and boy, the last few sunny mornings, I've had to close the curtain sometimes because I'm too hot. There's no leaves out yet. So the sun is just pouring in, but I'm drinking my coffee. I'm soaking up the sunlight and opening the window and meditating with these brain frequencies and focusing on that first thing in the morning really sets my outlook for the day. And yet, when I was trying to get ready and all the bullshit was happening tonight, I was swearing up a storm. But you know what, too? Even though it didn't, just noticing this because it's been that long since I did my last live. When those things happen, I would be, heart pounding and revved. And it didn't do that. I just kind of plat it out of my system, and it didn't do that to me. Okay, then we have Magician. This is the ability to manipulate. This is that basic skill. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. I can manipulate. I can change things. And look, she's looking over here. It's as if she's saying, I wish I could do that. Well, you can. She can. She's just not looking at her own potential. She's looking outside of herself. And then she's comparing. And boy, is that ever a source of suffering, eh? So the Magician says we have the basic skills. And we need to accept that it's part of us. And then we have strength over here. So she is recognizing the fierceness that's inside of her, but also the softness, the innocence, the youth, the vulnerability. And looky, 10 of Cups there. And then we have the Page of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, God, this Nine of Pentacles. It's fascinating how different the Nine of Pentacles is in so many decks. It's also fascinating how often it comes up for me and my sister when we're doing our readings. Okay. So, over here, focusing on what is it that I can do. And focusing on, look at this little rainbow, individual rainbow, and now it's translated into family. So we go back to neighborhood and the people that are close to us, our siblings, our friends, our neighbors, and how we can take, first of all, we have to acknowledge what's inside of us. We need to fill our own cup, right? So we have to acknowledge first that there is a cup that's full. Let our cup fill and take the skill we have to, to expand that energy, to beef it up, to swim in it, to channel it. And through our will and the meditations that we do, we can expand that energy and make it greater. And strength is saying, and it's all under my control and in balance between the passion and the gentleness. I am in control of my faculties. I have the skills to take whatever is given to me and make it into more that I can then share. Page of Swords is about intense curiosity. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to take one on the page. We have the Emperor. Okay. So the Page of Swords is that curiosity. I'm ready to learn. And that's what strength is saying here too. I'm ready to learn just how great the strength is inside of me. And Emperor says it's huge. It is the strength of having the authority over your life and deciding what you're going to do with it. And when we do all these things and recognize our own authority, recognize that the buck stops here as far as our dissatisfaction, as far as our karmic path forward in compassion and sharing what we have with our community, the buck stops here. He's the one that makes the decision. Yes, I'm going to. And then down here we have Nine of Pentacles saying that when we be that bridge between earth and sky, and we bring in this energy and this abundance, we also get that abundance and we get to enjoy it too. We don't give it all away. You know, it has to come through us. So we get to enjoy it first. And also, we get to enjoy it we get to enjoy it by ourselves. But it is that satisfaction of a job well done. Indeed. All right. Jessica says Biden did a great job, proves his mind is sharp. Yes, and you know, unfortunately, the thing that is against Biden so much is just the way he looks. You know, he's getting that, the way his eyes are kind of sinking. You know, sometimes they look like, what's the expression? Piss holes in the snow. And so he's, you know, he's an old man and he looks like an old man. But my God, his mind is not. His mind is sharp. He has the tools. And you look at the last two State of the Union addresses where he baited the GOP into agreeing to things that they don't really want to agree to. You know, this time he made them agree that Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid are not on the table as far as being able to be cut. So never, ever forget he's a Scorpio, because he's a 12th house Scorpio, so he won't let you see it, but ooh, he can manipulate. All right. Here we go. Number 3. The fairies. Oh, look who's in the front. I got to kiss himself. I'm sure I've told you this story a million times, but I'm going to tell it again. This deck was a gift from my sister-in-law, Robin, years and years ago. And I'd never heard of it, and it was like, wow, this is cool. So, of course, it came with that deck energy. Plus, the artwork is so incredible, and the writing is amazing, and it's just alive. And I had so many experiences with this deck where it really was truly alive. And one of them, my son was having his maiden ceremony before we knew he was a boy. After we knew he was a boy, because I knew he was a boy when he was in the womb. Anyway, we were out on the back patio on Beltane, and it was just like a quick little thing because he was having none of it. He was like 6 years old, so we did a little blessing on him and sent him in the house. And I picked up these cards, and it's like, okay, let's do a quick reading. And I closed my eyes and shuffled and did like I do, which I'm going to do right now. Who wants to come talk to us? Who would like to come talk to us? Oh, fairies, fairies, fairies. Wonderful fairies. Who would like to come talk to me tonight? Okay, nobody's coming out, but I felt cards flip out. I heard them hit the bricks, and I looked down, and there was the Bright Mother and himself. The holy couple right there. Okay, the fairy who was kissed by the pixies. Singer of the Chalice, Faf the Footer, the Dark Lady. I tell you, the show Letterkenny has poisoned my brain for an ever and ever. I say the Dark Lady and I hear the Dark One. If you know, you know. And then we have Unity and we have Mickle-a-Muckle. And I don't know if it's Mickle-a-Muckle or Michael-a-Muckle. M-I-K-L-E. What would you think it is? And I will have to look up some of these. So the fairy who was kissed by the pixies is love given, love received, metaphorical open heart surgery. Let's see here. Love, sweet love, accept it, burnish it up, add to it, pass it on. What else do we need to say? What else do we need to say? They heard that last reading and said, yes, we can add to that. Then the singer of the chalice is trust, joy, patience, creativity, hope, miracles. Inspiration. I mean, with the help of the singer of the chalice and of the fairies, you too can get this one feeling that is all the good feelings in one. Unconditional love, trust, hope, healing, patience, and so on. Open is open. Be open. If you don't know how, ask. It is right there. And on we go. See what I mean? Is that a 50 or a 30? It's a 50. Then we have Faf the Footer, being real, earthing, grounding, centering. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, quick fairy tips for earthing. I've never read this. Stroke your feet gently with both hands, each one for 5 minutes. You can also check for holes in your socks while doing this, or you can take your socks off. Paint your toenails bright red. Then your toes say a cherry, or should that be cheery, hey-ya to you when you look at them. And this reminds you to keep them on the ground. Even when you can't see them, it will probably still remind you, especially if you're a man. Start a reading, breathe, ground, center. If you can't remember how preparing for a reading, read preparing for a reading. Maintain or recover sanity by staying earthed. Do this now. Important information is coming your way. So he's just all about just being grounded, being in the body. All right. Then we have the Dark Lady. She is unconscious power and wisdom, rituals, mysteries, secrets. So she's like the high priestess. And then we have Unity. So she has the ability to perceive. She understands. She's got a direct line on the truth of things. And that truth is that we are all connected. We are one entity. We are many, many cells in the same body. Union, mystical experience, spiritual home. So one of the goddesses I got this week is called Anandamayi Ma. I think I mentioned her in my last unboxing. She was an Indian saint, and she was known for just falling into the state of bliss a lot. There was a St. Catherine or Teresa. Is it a Catherine or a Teresa? I think it was a Teresa that used to do the same thing, just fall into bliss states, into ecstasy. And so that's ecstasis is ecstasy, but this is that mystical experience, that experience of unity, everything being one. So the call here is to, tap into that high priestess inside, the sensitivity that we have that perceives that truth of unity. Then we've got, I might be Michael, but I call him Mickle-a-Muckle. Everyday blessings, play, and mixed blessings. Lighten up. What is needed here is the benefit of a childlike, trusting heart and childlike wisdom, seeing directly into the nature of things. Don't complicate things. What you see is what you get. Don't look for hidden and subtle meanings and motivations. Welcome adventure into your life. Try something you've never done. Take time to play with Michael. I think it's Michael now, M-I-K-L-E, before you turn into a grumpy glump or a worn-out word. So talking about that childlike part of ourselves. And even though, we've got like this deep mystery going on here of the Dark Lady and being able to sense the deep mystery of things and have that mystical experience available in the Unity card, it says we're not trying to take this, seriously, that we need to approach it like a child. And I want to go back to this third house here because it talks about elementary education. And I want you to think about that time when you were brand new learning things like how to read and how to do, addition problems and things, and what joy there was when the penny dropped for you on any particular thing you were learning. I mean, I remember being in first grade and feeling it unlock that these letters went together to make sounds. And I remember just getting my hands on books and sounding things out and learning to read so fast and in to the point where I was reading books that were beyond me. They were like, third or fourth grade, and there was the word determined. And for a while, I thought that word was determined. So, they say don't criticize people for pronouncing words wrong because that means that they learned it through reading and not speech. So this is going back to that joy of elementary learning and putting yourself there so that you can face life that way and see what you can learn from it now rather than approaching it with your old, traumatized, jaded, deeply experienced, armored part of your mind. So, yeah, I mean, there's so much joy available. And as you've heard me say so very many times, just because there are horrific things going on doesn't mean you are not allowed to experience joy. And I also want to say how very grateful I am every single day that I am in this country with everything that we're going through. I look at what the rest of the world is dealing with, and it makes me so very grateful. And that gratitude gives me energy to fight. It gives me energy to, look at what's going on politically, and not with just to be worried and everything, but just to be aware and putting information where it needs to go that hopefully might change some minds here and there. So anyway, we are called to be in that mystery. We are called to be the priests and priestesses that we are, and expressing that unity, living that unity, being an example of it, but putting it out in such a way that is sweet and fun and innocent and childlike, and allowing ourselves to enjoy where we are and what we're doing. Okay, I'm gonna see, I picked these decks so it would be easy tonight. Didn't I say that? Yep, I did. But you know what? I'll be right back. All right. I had to get my Burt's Bees. My lips are so dry. And I'm going to refill my water. Don't be surprised if I have to take a pee break. Okay. All right, how you guys doing? Who's up next? No, we just did you, darling. And we did you too, darling. All right. Sacred She. I think I'm going to shoot a short. I have discovered that I can't do that. I have to use my phone to make shorts. You can't just make a quick little video and upload it as a short. It's got to be in that format, or I know people clip things from longer videos to put up as shorts. I haven't quite learned how to do that yet. So, you doing? How you doing, Al? Ooh, all right. Well, that wanted to come off. I'm just going to acknowledge it. Frozen. This is the 4 of air. All right, well, I mean, it wanted to be there, so let's just go with it. Frozen talks about, oh, now I have to air kiss because I have Burt's Bees on. Frozen. Okay, it being in air, this is talking about our minds and just kind of being locked into thoughts, locked into fear, frozen into, when your mind is frozen, you're not letting things in, let alone letting them out. And you know what? I have to look and see because now I'm not sure that's air. I think that might be water. Okay, hold on. Yes, it's water. Sorry. This is cups, 4 of cups. So, hey, do you remember what the card was with the light seers? It was 4 of cups in the middle here. So that's a validation. Let's see what this deck has to say about it. So talking about worry, freezing out your ability to respond. Honesty. Cooperation. Focus. Understanding, which is the star. And then we have heartbreak. Wow. All right. This is going to take a little bit longer. So, the central theme here is talking about being frozen. Why? From heartbreak. Look at this axis. So we do have to acknowledge, I'm starting to feel hopeful about things, but we could very easily get that hope yanked away from us. And looking at the period that I've come out of, and this is one of the things I've talked about a lot too, when I'm feeling all right, it is impossible to remember how bad it was when I was feeling bad, and vice versa. When I'm feeling bad, it's impossible to think that I was ever feeling well. So, from where I am right now, it's hard to remember. But the despair of those times of being in constant, intense pain, it really puts you in emotional lockdown. And whether that is physical pain, spiritual pain, intellectual pain, emotional pain, just the pain of going through times of great upheaval and change. And that's what we're in. So we can lock down our emotions. And maybe better frozen than just stagnant and rotting, but maybe not. Let's read a little bit because it's worth it. The writing is so good. Worry about the future freezes the life out of life. A kind of mental paralysis sets in where you only see worst case scenarios, and who in their right mind wants to remain stuck in that? Disengaging from a standstill requires awareness of how you got stuck, feeling something not enough or feeling somehow not enough or victimized in the first place. A little self-inquiry is the means for melting an impasse created by self-doubt and dispersing the mindset that constructed it. So this is an acknowledgement, because this is cups, that our mindset generates emotions. And when we are worried, and we start to generate that kind of emotional fallout, then we kind of lock down because it becomes too much. And those emotions then get stuck because the mind keeps going, but we refuse to feel the emotions. So they just build up in the body, they build up in the tissues, and they make us vulnerable to all kinds of stuff. So we got trauma and heartbreak, and we're locking down because of it. We need to be honest with ourselves. I'm going to go here because I found it very interesting that there were eggs. The eggs are honesty here. Oh, wait. I forget the order that these are in. Okay. The honest egg we all recognize is essentially perfect, containing both untapped potential and great nourishment. Wait a minute. You said blah, blah, blah. There are times, okay, so we're talking about being forthright and honesty and honest. If you're looking to make friends and influence others and what you stand for isn't favored by popular opinion, then forthrightness will likely be a problem. For outspoken honesty is off-putting to those who expect a polished presentation that appeals to the status quo before they will listen. It's talking about small talk, and this is a page. So it's like, how do you approach your practical matters? And for me, Page of Pentacles is about learning, schooling, practical skills, taking on skills, the practice of something that I'm going to actually now manifest this. Okay, it's a page, so it's kind of beginning energy, and we begin with honesty and cooperation. All right, hold on. So the cooperation here, the Three of Pentacles, can talk about how do we break the freeze? How do we melt this ice? We have to be honest with ourselves about our trauma, and then we start to share. Here's what I'm going through. How do you feel? And also, if we start kind of talking and giving voice to our emotions, we can encourage other people to do the same. And that's where, let's come back to these astro dice. If somebody starts saying, I'm just really scared about the border and I'm scared about the caravans of people, we might be tempted to be really honest and go, that's all a lie and it's fake news. And then we're opposed. Instead, how about if we start like with, yeah, man, that can be really scary. I understand how that can be scary. So we cooperate, and we kind of express compassion, and we can bring ourselves together rather than forcing apart by looking at how you can be on the same side with someone as a starting point. I used to do this in customer service when we would have these, oh my God, pain in the ass customers call. This is when I worked for a henna online business that sold, henna hair dyes and stuff. And they work a certain way. These are natural dyes. They work the way they work. You can't make them work like chemical dyes. And these people would call and just be so pissed off. Story time. Some of the things were that, henna is permanent. When I decided to stop doing mine, it took like 4 years for it all to grow out. But people would do their hair, gray hair, and you'd do henna, and then they'd call and say, it's fading. It's fading after 2 weeks. And it's like, it doesn't fade. It's permanent. And they're like, and I finally started saying, okay, where is it fading? And they'd say at the roots. After 2 weeks, it's fading at the roots. And it's like, honey, that's your hair growing. People thinking that hair grew from the ends and not from here. And thinking that if they did henna once, that their growing out hair should be that color. And people just didn't want to let information in. And instead of arguing with them, getting on their side and saying, I understand how frustrating this is. It's a learning curve. You've never used this before. And you could feel people soften. So the honesty that we need to approach with, if we want to help others, first of all, we have to have honesty to help ourselves, but then helping others, it's all in approach and looking at understanding here. There's the star. I do understand that fear you're feeling. I feel like it's, would it change if you knew this? Here's a fact. Does that change your fear if you knew this piece of information? And then focus. All right. So that would be Two of Wands, right? Let me make sure. I believe that's red. Yes. So this is talking about focusing our efforts. But I need to take another card on heartbreak here. Compassion. There we go. We have to have compassion with each other for our heartbreak. Let me look at focus here. Competition. Ooh. All right. So the focus, we really do have to focus because we go into competition kind of by default. We've been trained that way. And when somebody, somebody's beliefs, somebody's mindset, they're expressing it, and it's very different from ours, we we immediately are like, you are not me, and we can start to compete, or we just see ourselves as not on the same side. That's how I want to look at competition. Not like actively competing against each other, but just saying you and I are not on the same team, right? And if we can focus on that mindset of we are different, because we're not, we're people, we all want the same things. We all want security. We all want a home. We all want to be loved. We all want food and water. We all want our needs met, you know? So we are on the same team. If we can keep our focus on our commonality and let understanding spring from that, do a meditation on, understanding when you see people acting the way they do. And I mean, let's face it, the people that act the worst are the least conscious people. They're not aware. They are acting habitually. They are acting in ways that they've been trained to act. And most of them, I would say, at least a lot of them, have never even questioned whether their behavior is okay or not. It's just, this is what I learned. It's my mother, and I respect my mother. I'm going to act like her, the whole thing. So, there's that. But the bottom line is compassion. We end where we started, with compassion. If we can focus on honesty, or allow our honesty with ourselves to focus and be compassionate, focus on the fact that we are on the same side and we need cooperation and understanding, then we can start unfreezing ourselves, number one, because that's the only thing we really have control over. But when we are unfrozen and flowing, it is much easier to change people, which is a thing you can't do, but it happens more easily when you lead by example than when you tell. When you tell, it usually doesn't work. Okay. Ostara. This has been going quick. See, this is what happens when I pick decks that are super friendly. Hold on. Water. You guys are so quiet tonight. And I'm missing my Samantha, and I'm missing my Darcy. I'm going to have to call him and give him what for tomorrow. Oh, darling. So, yeah, I understand that. That's a tough one. And I mean, that really is a tough situation. And you've got choices to make because, my sister voted Republican last time around and has voted Republican all her adult life. And I'm not going to say more, but she's awakening spiritually. And I think it is impossible to truly awaken spiritually and continue to support hatred and division. And we have to understand, I think the part of understanding there is knowing that it's based in fear. Conservative mindsets, they've done research showing that they took people and they gave them a visualization and set up a scenario of either of safety and security. And out of this situation, imagine you're in this situation of safety, security, and then they had a number of questions that they had to make choices about. Or it would be setting up a scenario of being of truly fearful circumstances. And then they would say, okay, in this scenario, what would you do? And I could be slightly off on the description there, but it was discovered that the more fearful, the more conservative. So conservative voters are fearful. Think about what their hot button issues are. They're coming through the border. Caravans, they're invading. Look at the words that are being used to trigger them emotionally. The invasion at the southern border. Invasion, oh my God, they're coming for us. Fear, fear, fear. Bam, hit that red button, And then you have people that are looking at the potential of humanity and the good things that are happening. And when you're not in a fearful mindset, you want the best for everybody. When you're in a fearful mindset, you want what's best for you because you're afraid you're not going to survive. So I guess that's the first point of compassion, of just understanding the fear and maybe saying, what are you most afraid of? And being armed with, here, what about this? What if there's, I don't know. I don't know. And then sometimes you just have to leave it alone. Sometimes you just have to make politics off limits and lead by example. Whatever you have to say it gently, say it compassionately, say it with love, but maybe don't confront. Sometimes we have to wall some things off in order to have peace in real time. I do understand that struggle. It's awful. All right. I'm going to split and pick these because they just don't shuffle that well. Okay, we have 2 of what? I believe that's cups. Then we have the Hermit. Oh. See, I've been using this deck, but I haven't, certainly haven't gotten all the cards yet. Okay. Then we have the Sun. Okay, that's not the Hermit. Do we have Roman numerals on all these cards? Yes, we do. Well, bollocks. All right, I'm not sure what suit that is. And then we have the Ace of something. That might be cups. Hierophant. Okay. Wow. All right. So, it's not all sunshine and light tonight, you guys. We had that 3 of Swords on the last one for the outcome. Here we have the 9. That's not so fun, but let's try to figure out what these cards are. That's not cups. This might have been one of the issues I had with this deck to begin with. It's coins. This is coins. Okay. The coins are in little bottles. You can't see because they are the coins are in little bottles. So that's what confused me. All right. Balance, distractions, neglect, relationships. So we've got that image of juggling things. Let me just identify who everybody is here, and then we'll go on. Okay, that's coins. That's wands. All right, I see the wands now. That is the Sun. That is the Ace of not wands, not coins. I do think it's cups. Yes. That's the Ace of Cups, the Hierophant, and the 9 of Swords. All right. So we've got the juggling of resources to begin with. And the upheaval that brings. And look at, we've got all the water in the background. How interesting with the when I did the black cats, I talked about how I kept saying how interesting, and what's funny is that I edited out like 6 more times that I said, how interesting. My brain just wasn't working. And here I am again. But that deck too would have pentacles or coins, and it was all water. But in this one, it shows the juggling that's happening, and the water behind says it causes emotions to ebb and flow. So we do have decisions to make about resources. We're weighing and balancing. We are figuring out what's worth, what things are worth. Then we have the 9 of Wands here, and I'm going to look this one up. Courage, persistence, test of faith, and resilience. A lynx, an animal famed for its stealth and cleverness, stands in the darkness framed by 9 wands. Indicates you're very near your goal. You've encountered one last setback. Okay, so it is talking about persistence, that we have to push through blockages here. Being a fire card, saying we're almost at the end, but we have just one more push to go. And then we've got the sun over here. But I'm looking at how the sun has its back turned on these things. So the thing is to looking towards the future with optimism. Even if we have one more thing and we're sort of balancing, know that we're close to the end, we're going to get through, and let's look to the future for our optimism, for what what's going to be bright, for the light, to show us the light at the end of the tunnel. Then we have the Ace of Cups. There's going to be a cause for celebration. There's a new sense of fulfillment, my cup being full. And then we have the Hierophant. Okay, wait a minute, let me see here. And the sun is the most powerful yes card in the whole deck. So that is a powerful indication of good news going forward. All right, I just want to see how they describe this. A masked figure holds the flame of knowledge and beckons you into a mysterious inner sanctum. The Hierophant's known as the High Priest in some decks. Okay, so, traditions, social structures, all of these things. And with the Ace of Cups here, I think we have something to feel hopeful about, something to feel joy about over social structure. And the way I think what I'm seeing this as, going to get topical, is that our democracy is holding currently. Our traditions, our structures, going by the book, the laws, the things that are written and codified, that they, for the most part, are holding strong. And we can be happy about that. But then we've got this Nine of Swords here, that there's so much anxiety, that we are, we're still experiencing so much fear and dread. Hold up. Yeah, there's still the inner torment. So let's see here. There's also, whoop, okay. Oh. It's 10 of Swords, but it flipped out upside down. And it's funny because when I was flipping through the book, I looked and went, see, the 10 of Swords, air, is a whale. Reversed. The blades begin to loosen and gradually fall away. Wounds never mend instantly, but remember that in order to heal, one must first survive the battle. This 10 now urges you to make the best of this second chance, but also reminds you to be patient with yourself as you move past these turbulent waters. So we do not get a pass on the things, the fearful things that we are seeing and experiencing that are happening in reality. But we need to make sure that we are dealing with reality and not a lot of projection and what ifs, all right, that we can't do anything about. This is saying that before we get to like the death blow, I feel like things go right to the edge, and then it turns around and the swords are falling out. And I will remind you, the wonderful readers that I watch, Ellie Dreams Down Under, Revealing Light Tarot, Marianne, and Cash Peters. Please go to them for political readings. There's another one. What's her name? She's got short blonde hair, glasses. She's a medium. She's very good too, and she's really funny. But hi, Catherine. Hi, Amy. I'm so glad you're here. Yay! And thank you, Hazel Witch. Thank you for coming. I'm so glad you checked in. Yay! All right. That makes me happy as we get to the very, very end. We've only got one deck left to go, but that's okay. I'll take my time. So watch these readers because they are agreeing You know, the things that they're getting are just in agreement with each other. They're feeling the same vibes. They validate the things that I'm feeling. I've toyed so many times with doing political readings on a new channel, but when I can't even do lives on my main channel, that's sort of off the table for now. But they are all saying that something's going to happen, and Mr. DT is not going to make it to the election for one reason or another, whether he is convicted and jailed, whether he is just bows out, whether health takes over, something happens that he is not a factor by the time we get to the election. And especially Marianne have been feeling Nikki Haley the whole time. And look, Nikki Haley has dropped out of the race and she's still picking up 21% of the vote in, where was it, Georgia, I think. So, in the primary. So things are still greatly in flux. Greatly in flux. And that's what this says too. This wee wah influx. This is turning into a political reading, so be it. We're almost there. We can look towards the future, but there's still a lot of shit to go through. We can rejoice that our democracy is so far holding strong, but there's a lot of anxiety, and we get to the edge and then those swords start falling out. Susan Lynn, let me see. I'll tell you in just a second. Hey, where is she? Yes, it's Susan Lynn. She's a hoot. She makes me laugh. She doesn't pull punches. She minces no words. Same with Marianne and Cash. Cash just put up a video today, and his reading on Trump was very, very interesting. So yes, Susan Lynn, another one of my big favorites. So here we go. And as it was like my last live, we get, how many lives have we had now where we get these great cards in the bottom? It's Tower, 10 of Swords, 3 of Swords, 9 of Swords. So it's just that reminder. Spirit is reminding us that ultimately we're still in it. We're still in it, but that we can have joy on the way. So, yeah, Roxanne, I know she's wonderful. She's amazing. And then finally we come to the Sacred Hags. And you know what? I want to take my time with this reading. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to have a break and talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That's much better. All right. Yes, Jessica, that Nikki Haley suspended her campaign rather than dropping out. That maybe she's watching all the mediums too. That's interesting. Okay, that was what jogged there. Very interesting. Laura says Luna's unboxing video got me to purchase Sacred Hags. It really is. It is so good. And doing the morning rituals every morning. Al says, this is your first live stream. Yes, everybody welcome Al. I know Al in real life. He's wonderful. He's an amazing person. So he's a Hogwartian that comes and stays here during Hogwarts now. Yay, I'm so glad he could make it too. All right. And are you he, him, or do you go by they, them, dear? I realize I don't know that. Or maybe I do, and I can't remember it right now. Okay, hags. All right. This is a very responsive deck. When you work with it again and again, it really responds to what you're putting out. Okay. Couple more. Okay. We have the Bard's Collection. Ooh. Okay. Haven't gotten that one yet. Feeling Flesh. Oh my goodness. The Flame Tender's Temple. The Unburnable Beloved. The Grandmother's Prayers. And the Soul Cages. Okay, I got to tell you something. I haven't worked with this in about a week, but it sits right here so I can. And when I was working with it every day, I tended to get the same cards over and over again. I have not gotten any of these cards but this one since I've been working with this deck in the last couple months. All right. Oh, I might have gotten Soul Cages too. So we have four kind of groupings in this deck. There is the hags, and then there's the seasons. So the sacred hags are red. The seasons are green, right? The stories are orange, and the spells are blue. So we've got like all stories. Okay, that's kind of cool. So the Bard's Collection. Grandma, tell me a story. Gathering is the key word. Grandmother speaks. We become much more discerning as we age when it comes to our gathering, our slow collection of wisdoms and skills. When we are young, we want to own it all, to scoop up every lesson we can and put it in our baskets. In time, though, we become necessarily protective of our energy and we learn that every little thing we collect demands our time and attention. Ask yourself what you are gathering now. Are you learning new ways of being in the world? Are you collecting trinkets, certificates, or relationships? What do you gather that is worthy of your precious energy, and what do you gather that would be better left outside the realm of your attention and responsibility? All right. So this is looking at, again, the material things that we have, weighing what is worth keeping, what isn't. I'm actively going through this right now that I can actually clean things. I'm starting to look at the stuff that's just been stored that yeah, but I might need it sometime. And I am ready to move so much stuff along. And in that process, it's not just what I want to get rid of. The process itself of deciding isn't about, I don't want this, I don't want that, it's too much, I need to get rid of. It's about, here's what I really love, here's what really matters to me. And as I concentrate on that, and like I said, I rearranged my shelves that they make me so happy. It's very easy now to be in the flow and using these decks and behaving as if these are really important and valuable to me on a daily basis. And then the other stuff just becomes, all right, that's not so important now. I can let that go. So the things just sort of detach themselves that aren't really worthy, and you can let it go. Now we have Feeling Flesh, and this is a spell. Embodiment. So the message continues. Roll your tongue along the roof of your mouth, beloved. Trace a symbol of infinity on the soft pink of your palate and breathe deeply. Feel at home in your skin. And I have picked this card too, because now I remember. We learn so early to distrust our emotions and discount our bodies, but from today forward, let us commit to trusting our feeling flesh. Our bodies know what will nourish us, yet we sometimes fall out of sync with our own bones and blood. We sometimes must relearn the language the body speaks, and this requires a fierce respect for our animal nature. Yes, indeed. And then we have the Flame Tender's Temple. This is long vision. Tending that flame of tradition. So thinking about, the roots of your spirituality here. Witches have the long vision. Witches know that great things take time to cook and the most epic spells take time to come to fruition. Keep working. Witches see themselves as part of a long line of wise ones, with their most ancient ancestors and loving descendants as part of their story. We are but a single breath in the wild myth that is our soul family. Hi, soul family. We are so small and yet so extraordinary. We must tend the flames for this damaged miracle we call a planet. We must tend the flames in the name of dying art and soon to be reborn grace. Consider this. What did your grandmothers light candles and speak prayers for that they themselves did not receive, though perhaps you have? And what do you sing your hopeful songs for that might only come to pass for your compassionate yet to be born kin? Give me a minute. Okay. Sorry. Unexpected. Uh, we don't have to necessarily reap the benefits in our lifetime. We work because the work is there to do. Whether we see it or not, the work is there to do. So, we can become so goal oriented and then we can get disappointed when we don't see, when our things don't come to fruition, when we don't see the outcomes. Why didn't it work out? Why haven't, well, how do you know it didn't? How do you know it won't? You don't. So, this is that strong, strong call to do the work every single fucking day. And those of us that are on a path towards enlightenment, do the work for everyone, for all of us, for every human being, to dispel their fears. What's the biggest remedy for these fucking asshats that are taking us in the wrong direction? To have their fears allayed, to have their fears calmed, to no longer be fearful. I think that's probably one of the best things that we could do is pray for, and I don't want to pray for, lack of fear or no fear. You can't state, anytime you do spell work, you have to state it in a positive way. The brain rejects negatives. Don't think of an elephant. The brain rejects negatives. So we don't want to say lack of fear. We want to say, what's the opposite of fear? Confidence, security, openness, but with the idea of seeing those fears shrinking, 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 shrinking. Okay. The unburnable beloved. This is clarity, the fortitude of a cleansing fire, a potent purge that both heats and alchemizes all it touches is undeniable. There's a part of ourselves, our stories, that is always in the crucible, always being irrevocably transformed into something new and unfamiliar. There is fire, and then there is that which can never be burned. Share with me now, my love, what aspect of your deep self is unburnable, somehow enduring throughout countless wildfires and searing transmutations. Gain clarity on that core, unburnable part of your soul, and there you will find the source of your magic. What remains even now, even when so much of who you once were has been torched, even when much of your old world has fallen to ash? So, what remains even now, even when all else is lost? What remains? The unburnable beloved, your eternal soul. It's pure energy. What are the rules of energy? It can't be created or destroyed. What are the rules of matter? Matter is energy. Matter is energy. But this is tuning into that unburnable part of yourself, that eternal flame inside you. And here's the Flame Tender's Temple. We tend that flame, we do that work, we give it freely, we give it wholly to all of humanity for whenever it manifests. We do the work because it's ours to do, because it's a joy to do. The grandmother's prayers. Elderhood. What elders have you been blessed to know in your life, child? Elders are truly compassionate wisdom keepers who stand on that wild divide between innocent grace and high fire leadership. They have lived long, yes, but that is most certainly not the only qualification for elderhood. A true elder, my love, allows their soul to guide while their smaller selves and ego born desires take the back seat. You know you are conversing with an elder because youthful wonder and otherworldly knowing converge in their words. If you want to truly understand spirit and divinity, ask an elder. Mind you, they may have no great title, no letters following their name. There is a humility accompanying their wisdom and an adamant refusal to claim ownership over principles and language that are timeless. Whew. Okay. I'm going to read this moonlight ritual for this one. It's called Dream Visitation by the Ancestral Crone. Before sinking into sleep on this night, set the intention to meet a crone ancestor from ancient times, a primal grandmother of your bloodline who holds your best interest at heart, who will gift you with the symbol of the medicine you need right now in your life. Upon waking, if you did receive a symbol, try to find a physical representation of this medicine and place it on your altar. This is important because should the crone from your dream become a guide for you in your spiritual work, you need to develop a common language. If she shows you a bone, find or draw a bone and place it somewhere sacred. Over time, the communication between the two of you will become clearer. That's a wonderful thing. Then we have soul cages. And this is medicine. Ooh, this is a long one. Oh, my beloved, allow me to share with you a too brief version of the Irish folktale called The Soul Cages. Once, on the mistiest of shores, there lived a spirited fisherman who, on the mornings after storms raged, would go to the beach and gather up the bounty from the crashed ships. A king he believed himself to be. One dark day, however, he met a Merrow, half fish and half man, who showed him the horror of the soul cages, undersea traps where this creature kept the souls of the dead sailors. The fisherman rethought his riches, for these dead and imprisoned souls were surely from the same ships that carried his gold and his whiskey. He pondered and then he plotted, and in time he seduced the Merrow, and that's Merrow. It's the opposite of a mermaid. He seduced the Merrow with drink and set all the souls free. Expecting a great reward he was, but alas, all he received was a spectral whistle when the souls rose from their traps and joined the realm of the restful dead. Isn't that the way of it? We all carry such potent medicine, such immense gifts, but rarely are these gifts as valued in our society as we want them to be. Boy frickin' howdy. Our reward is just like the fisherman's, a spectral whistle. I've always felt like a voice crying in the wilderness. No medals shall be pinned to our chests. The wealthy artists are few and far between. Show me an herbalist dripping in jewels or a midwife who rules over an estate. Even so, we carry our medicine. We bring it to the world. We must. What other choice do we have? So we end with, what choice do we have but to bring our magic, bring our medicine, bring our love and compassion, and share it with our neighborhoods. And yes, the internet is a neighborhood. So we end where we started. The karmic path forward is by giving our spiritual gifts, wherever they are, whatever they are. They are our medicine, and they are medicine for us as well as medicine for all of humanity. And the elders, the ancestors, the tenders of the flame, that unburnable part of ourselves, are all just crying for us to give these gifts and give them freely without expectation of return or payment. You know, Neptune is the dissolver. So Pisces that showed up here, we've got the North Node in Pisces in the third house. Neptune is called the dissolver. And Neptune it rules sacrifice. Neptune and Pisces. What is sacrifice? It's just here. I give this with no expectation of reward or return. I give it up. I offer, right? And then, you just have to be okay with that. I over years, I never thought about this channel making money. But then, I set up Patreon and all that stuff. And I actually did have levels and rewards and things to begin with. And then, guess what? My health made it so I couldn't keep up with those things. So I took away all those things and then said, if you want to just give me $3 a month for the things that I do, join my Patreon. And I carry guilt for that, for even asking. But, that is what it is. But, I'm here to give what I have. Sometimes I've got a lot to give, and sometimes I don't. And that's totally okay. So with the Bard's collection, like, look at the things that you've learned throughout your life, the skills that you've learned. Who would benefit from learning these skills from you? And by all means, it doesn't mean that whatever skills and know-how you have to give it all away. You are allowed to make a living. And fortunately, we have enough. We have enough. And I don't have to be worried about, making money from these things. So I just give my gifts and I say my prayers, and every morning I do my meditation and give it up for the benefit of all. So I invite you to do the same. And as with, what was it, the Knight of Pentacles? Nine of Pentacles? As with everything, when you do things in order to bring benefit, you get the benefit first. It's like doing Reiki, when I do a Reiki treatment, the Reiki has to come through me. So it's healing me first. I get the benefit too. And when you pray and when you do magic and when you do your best to send out the energy that's going to lift up humanity, it's going to hit you first. This is why you don't do baneful magic too. I mean, sometimes things need cursed. Sometimes you got to throw a curse. Sometimes you have to throw up protection. But I stay away from baneful magic and curse energy. I figure karma is karma. It's way bigger than me. It's not up to me to bring karma down on anybody's head. It's a coming. No, there is no escape. But know that when you do baneful magic, if you don't set up all kinds of protections for yourself, that also is going to hit you first. So be aware and work for the greater good. Work for the greater good of all of us. All right. I think that is all I have to say about that. Let me bigger myself. And let's close our circle. In gratitude, first of all, coming down into your body again, coming way down into the belly, feeling all the way down to your toes, feeling that embodiment. That's what the Feeling Flesh card was about, it's embodiment. So feel in your body, feel the sovereignty you have over this body. And even though our external contexts may be looking to remove sovereignty from that body or not validate and allow our sovereignty, there is still that unburnable beloved inside that they can never touch. They can never touch. So, feeling down in the body, let us first offer gratitude for messages received, blessings received, for this wonderful, wonderful internet that gives me a community and a neighborhood to do my work in, and for my continuing good health. I am just, my gratitude is bottomless. So high you can't get around it or can't get above it. So low you can't go under it. So wide you can't get around it. All right. Let's, on the next exhale, join together. Nice big inhale. And let's breathe out and feel that outer layer that we pushed out, just expand it out further. Feel it blanket the earth and flash out into space with our collective love and blessings going with it. And now coming back, your awareness that is back in just your personal sphere. And allow any extra energy to drain down into the earth, keeping what you need to accomplish what you need to accomplish tonight, but not keeping so much that you don't sleep. And we send the rest down to the earth for her blessing. She is going through many, many changes. She is finding equilibrium. She is balancing and adjusting herself. And we are living with these adjustments. We had 3 inches of snow on Sunday and 60 some degree weather on Monday. She is balancing, she's moving, she's alive, she's moving and blending and balancing and finding her equilibrium. And we add our good energy to that. And to you, my wonderful viewers, thank you so much for being here. I offer you blessing and love and compassion. And I love you so much. I couldn't do what I do without you. And I am so glad that I can be here again. I have missed the shit out of you. I really, really have. So thanks for being here. And I hope that I can be here on Wednesdays on a regular basis. That is my plan. Back to Wednesdays every week. So mote it be. All right. Thanks, you guys. I will see you next time. Blessed be.